Hello everyone, this is Mac here and I welcome you all to my YouTube channel which is called Mac Vlogs. Whoa! I have a guest of mine all the way from Oman sitting there. I know her and her family for quite some time and she is really an amazing human being. Today the topic which we have chosen is really important for the working professionals and for the career people who are finding difficult and struggling at the moment. Even after COVID, I feel that lots and lots of people are struggling to find the correct jobs, the right direction for their jobs, whether it's in Middle East or in Asia, everywhere people are finding it difficult because of the global phenomena. The markets are really becoming expensive. You know, mention the things which are happening around the world that is causing people to lose the jobs and they don't know what they should be doing. So my guest today this evening is Miss Farzeen Ashik. She is a coach and a business I'm sorry, a career coach and a business coach. So I'm sure she can correct me over there. Career and business coach. Sorry for that. So good evening, Farzeen Ashik. How are you?
Fine, thank you, Masroor. Thank you so much for having me on your show. It's really an honor to be here with you.
More than you, I think it's my honor basically because today we are going to be talking about the problem for the people. So we will have a solution for them by the expert, which is called the craft our carriers, which is having an issue with everybody. I'm sure you will endorse that. The people are really going crazy, not understanding what exactly whether their resumes are correct or they're finding the wrong jobs or the job market is bad, whether it's in Oman, Dubai, Pakistan, India, everywhere. So
Yeah.
let's find that solution which people really need, how they can find the correct job through an expert, which is you. So why don't you give an introduction? Who is
Sure.
Farzeen Ashik? And exactly how everyone can be satisfied with all your answers. Let's go and let's do this.
Thank you. Thank you. So, hello everyone. I'm Farzeen Ashik. I am based in Muscat, Oman. I've been here for the last 12 years. So, by profession, I started off as a computer engineer and then I did my MBA in human resources. And I was head of HR for Aster DM Healthcare Group of Hospitals and Clinics in Oman for 8 years. Prior to that, I worked with a large consulting firm in Dubai called Aon Hewitt, where I was a human resource consultant. So in 2019, just before COVID hit, I actually quit my corporate job and I decided to start my own business. Terrible time to start, but hey, what to do? So anyway, 2021, that was last year, is when I launched my own HR consultancy. It's called Ascend Consulting. So the reason why I moved into this particular field was because I wanted to help people more, and this gave me more freedom to do what I was really passionate about, which was building people. So I felt, in my career as an HR professional, there was a lot more that I could contribute by training people, by helping them understand what are their skills, what are their strengths, how can they craft their careers better so that they can lead more fulfilled professional lives. So that is one of the main reasons why I started my own consulting firm. So we do recruitments primarily for the healthcare sector, and we also do psychometric assessments, training and development, and so on. So I'm also a trained career and business coach. I've done my training from Coach U in the USA because I'm really passionate about connecting with people and helping them have a positive impact in their life and make positive change wherever I go. So today I'm here in the role of a career and business coach, and what I would like to discuss with you is how can you craft the career of your choice? So, as you know, like Masroor said earlier, these have been very uncertain times in the last 2 years. We've all been through so many ups and downs, and there have been so much of sadness and loss for so many of us. But things are slowly beginning to open up. Things are looking up, and the markets are also picking up. Employers are beginning to recruit. So this is a good time if you're thinking of shifting jobs or looking for new jobs to kind of start your efforts in a strong manner. So today I have with you a few simple steps that I bring with me to kind of help you to craft your career in a very simple and very targeted manner. So this is primarily for people who are looking for jobs right now, who are in the process of applying for various jobs, who maybe you are already in a job but you want to change. So this is for people that's the target audience that I'm currently looking at.
I think we're
uh,
going to balance it out today. Whether
yeah,
anyone who wants to change their jobs, what is the way forward for them, and
sure.
for the people who have lost the job, and what's the reason that could be that is not helping them to find a better job, right? So we can balance between both of them.
Absolutely. So, like I mentioned earlier, so I have a very simple approach when it comes to career coaching and business coaching. So, basically, the idea is to simplify the process, because I believe that let's not complicate things. Simpler it is easier to implement, and it's easier to scale as well. So, the first thing that I ask anybody who's looking for a job or who's thinking of changing their jobs, or even moving out of their current job into an entrepreneurship role for that matter, is to actually sit down and take some time and ask yourself, what are your professional objectives? What do I want to achieve as a professional? So many a time, we kind of work in an autopilot mode. Maybe you finished your graduation in a particular discipline, and then you were hired from campus, or maybe you joined your uncle's company, or something happened, and you kind of get into a particular career stream, and then you just kind of go on it because okay, it seems like a good thing to do, and so on. So when you are thinking of a job change, the first thing you need to ask yourself is, what do I want to achieve? What is my professional objective? Do I want to be in the corporate space? Do I want to be an entrepreneur? Do I want to be a medical health professional in this particular country? So be very clear about what is your professional objective, because that clarity is something which you need. That's your starting point. Being sure about what you want to do now, and also have a little bit of a foresight. What do you want to do in future as well? So a year from now, what do you see yourself doing? So these are things which you need to kind of start thinking of when you are beginning your job search, rather than just quickly putting a CV together and start applying to 100 employers, and you don't even know who you're applying to and what you're applying for, and you just, because sometimes we get like a million CVs and people are like, for any job. So that doesn't work like that. So you need to be very clear about what you want to achieve to start the whole process. So that's the first step. Secondly, what I would ask you to do is define what kind of role you want. Okay, you want to work in HR, for example. What kind of HR role are you looking for? Are you looking for a generalist role? Are you looking for recruitment? Are you looking for training and development? Are you looking for performance management? Is there a specific thing that you are particularly skilled at or interested in that you want to take up? So be as specific as you can, because the more clarity you have, it will help you, and it will also help the employer see that you're a very serious, very targeted job seeker. So that will also kind of help you to identify what kind of companies do you want to apply for? What kind of industries do you want to work in? Which kind of country do you want to apply in? Do you want to go to Pakistan? Do you want to apply for Oman? Do you want to go to Dubai? Where do you want to work? So these things are also controlled to a large extent by the kind of job that you want, kind of role that you want to apply for. For example, IT, if you take, there might be certain countries where IT is, a great option. Like maybe you might find plenty of options in say, Pakistan and Dubai. Whereas Oman, it might be a little bit more challenging because there's a lot of nationalization happening for IT. So these are things which you need to kind of take in mind and be very clear about the kind of role that you are applying for. Is there anything you want to
How,
ask between? Yeah.
yeah, how does this career switch helps people from one country to another country when the experience of having that particular job is in one country? For example, if someone is working in Oman, in the
Yeah.
Oman's market and all, how effective it is to apply in the Dubai market with Oman's experience, and does the Dubai market is ready to accept and accommodate them with that experience, or it requires a different mindset or a different strategy which you as an expert would advise them that what they exactly should do?
So it depends upon the kind of role, again, Masroor. So, for example, let's say you're a healthcare professional. Let's say you're a doctor or a nurse or a paramedical staff. Okay. So now, in that case, it doesn't matter which country you've had experience in. If you've had good, solid experience in Pakistan or Oman or India or wherever it is, and your CV has the kind of skills and qualifications and experience that the employer is looking for, let's say in Dubai, they will be ready to kind of hire you as long as you complete the licensing process. Let's say, for example, if it is a role like say marketing, Marketing might be a little bit more tricky because marketing, you need to have local market knowledge. So that case, it might be a little bit of a disadvantage if you're applying for a job in Dubai, sitting in Pakistan, or sitting in Oman, where you don't have market knowledge or experience. Even then, if you have been working in a GCC country like Saudi, Bahrain, and countries like that, and you're applying for another GCC country, still you will be able to kind of, you know, try to convince the employer that, listen, I've worked in one GCC country, I know how to build relationships with people from an Arabic background, I will be able to manage it. You might be able to find it, but certain roles, it might be a little bit more tricky for you to find a job if you don't have experience in that local geography. Whereas for others, it doesn't matter.
Do you have a team as well to look into the resumes as well, whether they're in the correct way, correctly presented for going for an interview, or you're just simply into advisory that what exactly career they should choose, or do you
So
give
we
some any trainings and stuff as well?
Yeah, so we do conduct trainings, Masroor, for how to craft a CV. For example, so a professional resume is a very important factor for the job. So in fact, that's the third point that I was coming to. Creating a very professional and very clear resume. See, as a recruiter, I get a lot of resumes from people, and some of them are really very badly written. Not because they have done, they have not put the information. They have put all the information, but a lot of unnecessary information also is there in the CV. There's no need to kind of use big fat words and try to kind of impress the employer that you're very fancy schmancy. There's no need for it. Just keep it very simple. So in fact, we do conduct a training program, and we tell people how to craft a CV. We have a CV format which we share with our candidates, saying that, can you put your information in this format, which is very simple, which is very clear. So when a recruiter or an employer is looking at the CV, the kind of information that they're looking for, they're able to get at a glance. So ideally, your CV should not be more than 1 or 2 pages. There is no need to have a CV which is 4, 5, 7 pages. We've had massive CVs, especially people who have a lot of experience. They want to put everything into the CV, so that is really not to your benefit. So we have certain guidelines that we share with our candidates, that, listen, if you are applying for a job, this is the kind of format that you can put your CV in, and there are certain information that has to be there. Like, for example, you need to give your personal details, like your phone number, your email address. That needs to be clear. Sometimes we get CVs and there is no contact details. So how do we contact the person? Then things like your educational qualifications, your current experience, your previous experience. So those things also need to be clearly mentioned, but don't give too much information. Then you also talk about what are your achievements, what are your strengths and skills that you're going to be bringing into the job. So these things are some of the basic things that you need to find in the CV. But people unnecessarily give information. Sometimes they give a lot of personal information, like father's name, husband's name, passport number. Those kind of things are not necessary for the employer. So at a first glance, just give what they need. Keep it simple, short, and sweet. So that's what I recommend when it comes to preparing a CV. Yeah.
You
So
know,
once
when
your CV is ready, sorry,
when I
yeah.
when I was growing up, and we were discussing among our friends or the youth, that's the only question that comes arises in our minds, that when we are preparing our resumes for the job and we are very fresh from the university, you want to enter the job market where you don't have the experience and stuff. So
Yes.
during my time, what I
Yeah.
had observed and experienced was that you always need a recommendation from the top people sitting in the big, seats and stuff to reach a certain company by going through a HR, or you can say mouth of word. Because as you know, how Oman's job market is really segmented, like it's really compact, that people do not understand and do not know, especially the locals out there in Oman, how to apply for the jobs and stuff. So it goes mainly for the mouth of word, right? If
Yeah.
I know someone, you know someone, or anyone, ABC knows someone, they
Yeah.
hand over their CVs. Can you just refer us to some place and stuff? What is exactly is the correct channel of approaching a company, HR, or for the new job, where you would suggest that the youth should not go by discussing themselves rather than approaching through the professionals?
Yeah. So what I would recommend is that if you're going to apply for a job, let's say if the job at, let's say the company is already posting a job advertisement on LinkedIn or in any of the job portals, or you come across it through, newspaper, radio, whatever. So if you have come across a job advertisement from a particular company, the first thing you need to do is read that job in a lot of detail. Go really into it. Pay attention to the kind of job that is being asked for. What is the role? What are the qualifications required? What is the minimum years of experience? What are the different keywords that are used? So again, here, if you're looking at a person who's a very junior person, then apply for a junior role. Don't try to apply for a, like a CEO role or like a very senior manager role, because obviously you're not going to get it. Or what you could do is, if you can go to the company, if you are in locally available, you can go and visit the HR department of the company and ask them, do you have any entry level jobs? Now, let's say, for example, if you are not in the country of that particular company that you want to apply for, you can reach out to the HR managers and other, recruiting managers through LinkedIn. So LinkedIn is a great forum to kind of reach out to people, and a lot of people do respond positively. Not everybody, but some of them do respond positively, and they will give you, advice as to apply or don't apply, or we don't have an opening, whatever it is. But you will still get a response. So that is a great way. And another way you can do it is, Masroor, is that, see, one of the great things about LinkedIn is that you can see in your network, is there anybody in my network working in that particular company? Are there any connections of mine who are working in that particular company? Or you start talking to people and you ask them, do you know anybody who's working in this particular company? Because that really does work. you know Very rarely do we see people, like complete strangers, walking in and getting a job. That does happen, of course it does, but having a connection, having an in into the company is really valuable. So as much as possible, keep widening your network, keep talking to people so that you can find those connections.
And I'm sure you're going to agree with me that you might have come across many CVs and resumes in front of you where there's a favorite word which I have also seen many, many times, that whether the people are applying for different jobs, different positions, but when you read the column of the objective, what exactly they want to do for the company, their favorite word, I'm sure you might have gone through it all, multitasking.
Okay.
That word is so favorite that everyone mention it in their objective, that I'm a very good at multitasking. But I do not believe in that word, because
Yeah.
because that word only suits the woman, not men.
Actually, multitasking is not really considered a skill, because ideally you should only single task. Yes, we women are excellent at multitasking, but I wouldn't recommend it even for women to multitask, because as per research, multitasking is not good for your brain, and the results that you get out of
Every
multitasking.
man, every man writes. I'm good at multitasking, but when you're given a task in the company, they get confused that what am I here for that task or not? That's the really choking part at that. But if you give it to a woman who joins any company, right? Because you know how the mothers, the sisters, and the ladies who are very good at multitasking, because that's the reason they manage their house, their husbands, their kids, and the home chores and everything, right? But for a
Yeah.
man, just even if more than two responsibilities, which is exactly similar to the multitasking, right? They will not be able to do it.
So that's another point. Make sure that your CV is completely honest. Don't write anything which is not true.
Okay. So now, how are you seeing the future after the COVID? It's almost been 2 years now since the
Yeah.
COVID has gone. I wouldn't say it's completely gone, but we all
Yeah.
have to be careful at times. But the job market, okay, it's been opening up, where we see that people are going. Before we were seeing everyone work from home, but that has
Yes.
been changing now. The employers are getting back to normal, calling them back to the office and stuff. So now
Yeah.
the balance of a lot of different employers which feel that they have, okay, we can do work from home as well, because that is saving us a lot of expenses, the electricity,
Real
the
estate.
water, and stuff like that in
Yeah.
work, right? But they're raising the salaries for their staff from working from home as well. So do you feel that now the market is right, that no more work from home, get back to the office, because that's the correct way of working in a systematic way?
Honestly, if you ask me, I'm a person who believes more of the hybrid model that works, you
Hmm.
know. So I think people are quite used to now working from home, and the last 2 years it has actually shown that people can be still very productive, even though they're working from home. So the important thing is that having a hybrid model where you decide how many days a week the employee can work from home and how many days the person is going to be working at the office. That can actually be a really good model, and a lot of companies are actually following that model, and it kind of reduces the commute and makes people more productive, and they kind of value that kind of working model now, because since the option of working from home was given to them, this has been a new thing that has kind of cropped up post COVID. That's quite popular.
So your company is based in Oman and Dubai, both these countries, and you might be jumping around between Oman and Dubai for sure to help
Yeah.
out your clients in both the countries. So are you finding it hectic or you're finding it enjoyable that you're being able to contribute to change people's life to find a right career?
It's really been rewarding, so it's like one of the main reasons why I quit my corporate job and took up this particular entrepreneurship was because, like I said earlier, Mr. I wanted to help people more and kind of make a positive impact in their lives in whatever small way possible. So if I'm able to help a person find a job in a particular geography that they are looking for, and they work hard towards getting that, it's a very rewarding field. So that makes it all the more worthwhile.
And is your company will be in position to advertise for different jobs in the job market as well? Are you going to play the bridge role between the employer and the employee?
Yeah, currently we are in the recruiting space and we are doing a lot of recruitments for primarily the healthcare sector. This is primarily because I have been in the healthcare sector for the last 8, 10 years. So, but we will slowly be expanding into other sectors also. So we do
And
post recruitments on our website, on our Instagram pages, and we have been hiring people from all over the world: India, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, Lebanon, the Arab countries like Syria, etc., for different clients who are in the GCC. So currently the clients that we have are in Oman, in UAE, in Bahrain, in Saudi, basically the GCC countries. So we've been helping a lot of people, doctors, nurses, paramedical staff, to kind of help them to kind of find the kind of roles that they're looking for.
what do you enjoy the most about this career which you have chosen yourself in the HR field? What exactly that makes you vulnerable?
So one of the I would say my purpose of starting the company was to connect with people, to have a positive impact in their lives, and to bring about the change that they're looking for. So people, if they're given the right kind of guidance, a little bit of self confidence building, and if they're given, if somebody trusts and believes in you, then you are ready to take the next step. You're ready to step out of your comfort zone. And I've seen that people who they start off thinking, oh, can I do this? And then if you say, yes, of course you can do it. And they actually go ahead and do it. And they're like, wow, I didn't think I could do it. So that's the kind of aha moment that I'm looking for, where I'm able to kind of build that self-confidence in somebody. I can see, and I tell them, if only you could see yourself the way I see you. So that's a big difference, because you always tend to put yourself down. You don't see your strengths, you don't see your skills. But when somebody outside sees that in you and believes in you, then you start believing in yourself, and you become more self-confident, and that shows at the time of your job search. That shows when you go for an interview. You come across as very confident, you come across as very driven and ambitious, and those are the kind of qualities that employers are looking for when you're going for a job interview. So helping to build that kind of confidence in people is really, really great.
There are many industries out there, whether it's hospitals, the banks, the schools, you can say, or different institutions. So how do you definitely evaluate or judge? I wouldn't say judge, but more of evaluation for a certain human being or personality. Do you have any expert to assess them for these industries, or
So
do you have the process in place for them?
yeah, so if I understand what you're trying to say, you want to see, depending upon the individual's personality, what kind of a industry or what kind of a role would they be suited for. Is that what you're asking me, Masroor?
Sorry?
Yeah. No, I'm asking, is that what you were asking for? Like if
Yeah,
a person
that's my question. Like, for example, if any nurse or reception at the hospital, or maybe at the bank, at the customer service, or maybe in the school, you're looking for some IT expert,
yeah.
there are different positions in different fields and different industry. So, do you have that process in place to recruit them and guide them and direct them to those institutions?
Absolutely. So we have what we call Hogan assessments. So Hogan assessment is a psychometric assessment tool. It's used by Fortune 500 companies to kind of assess your personality, and it is basically for predicting job performance. So this particular, it's an online test, and this test is once the test is done, you will get a report which shows you what are your strengths, what are your main motives and drivers, and based on that, the test they recommend which fields and which roles are ideal for you. So once a person does the Hogan assessment, he or she will have a clear idea of what are her strengths. And when you go to a recruiter with the report, and the recruiter will be able to guide you better, because it's not just based on, like, oh, I think you could be this, or I think you could be that. This is backed by proper scientific evidence. So that helps them to kind of find the career that they will really be matching according to their skills and their strengths and qualifications.
As far as the recruitment is concerned, many people in the past, especially the HR department, used to visit different countries to recruit the best talent from different countries for their companies and their uh, team. But
Yeah,
nowadays, I think that's not required now because we have so many online platforms like Zoom
absolutely.
and
Absolutely.
WhatsApp and the social media and stuff. So
Yeah,
it's been limited for the people like you, for the recruitment companies, not to travel much, but you can do hiring through online sessions and stuff. So
absolutely.
how do you feel that this technology has overtaken the traveling process and helped you in a larger way?
See, this has actually, in fact, been a boon, because when we thought everything would come to a standstill during the COVID days, actually, there is a lot that we have learned, and there's a lot of technology that was available, which we adopted, which we didn't think about before, which we kind of found a way to incorporate into our work life to make it smoother. So when it comes to recruitments, doing interviews for candidates from anywhere in the world, rather than doing it over the phone, it's very different when you do it over the phone versus when you're having a video call and a video interview with the person. You can get a sense of the person's personality. What the person looks like. Does he smile? Does he, what is the personality like? Will he fit in with the role that he's applying for? Will he fit in with my culture of the organization? So these kind of things you can't get a sense by just looking at a CV. You can't get a sense of it by just having a phone call with the person. But having a video call, it really makes a big difference. Otherwise, sometimes we've had cases, in the past where you've interviewed somebody on the phone, you have a mental image of what this person is going to be like. And then the person comes to the organization after months of getting the visa and everything, and he comes and he is a completely different person. And you're like, oh my God, I don't think he's a good fit. So, at least in this case, technology gives you an advantage because you get a look and feel of what the person is like, and that will help you to kind of, have a right fit for the right job.
Okay, can you mention your company's full name so that audience can know what is your company's name and where exactly they are located in Oman, in Dubai, so that it's easier for them to get connected with you for their solutions. Basically, whoever's looking for the job in Oman or in Dubai or maybe anywhere around the world, basically because you're an expert, you can definitely get in touch and connect with them from your place. So, would you like to say something about that?
Sure. So our company is called Ascend Consulting, ASCEND, Ascend Consulting. We are currently registered in Oman as well as in Dubai. And you can find out about us online. We have a website, www.ascendconsulting.me. And we're also on Instagram, where we are quite active, and we post very often about what kind of vacancies we have, and so on. So you can find details about us on our website as well as on our Instagram page. And if you would like to reach us, you can reach us by email. So there is our email address is on the website, but I will just
I
mention it
think you
again.
can just share those details with me so that I can mention it in the YouTube description below so that everybody can go directly over there and get in
Yeah,
touch with you as well.
sure, I can do that. Yeah, absolutely.
That-
So
Okay, before we wrap up for the next 3 minutes, I would just like to know What are your future objectives for the future? Where do you see yourself and your company in the next 5 years? What is the exactly that vision of your company which you're looking at?
So the vision of my company, Masroor, is to, like I said earlier, it's to build people up, right? I truly believe that people can, really achieve much greater heights if they're able to put in the kind of focus and clarity and effort into their professional lives. And as a career and business coach, this is something which, I am able to kind of help them with. So our company can help with recruitments, we can help with career coaching, we do training and developments online as well as in person. So we go to corporates and do trainings over there as well. We are also a certified Hogan assessor, so we are able to do psychometric assessments, as mentioned earlier, to help you find out more about your personality and what kind of jobs would fit your personality depending upon your strengths and your skills. So these are the things which we are currently doing, and we hope to, do more of this good work so that we're able to build better capability in the region. We're able to help people find the jobs that they're looking for in the region and take them to greater happiness and more fulfilled lives.
So everyone, that was my guest, Farzeen Ashik, all the way from Oman, where she was talking about the career, how the careers can be crafted, and how I'm sure a lot of people who have different questions in their mind related to their careers after COVID or maybe current situation where people are not finding their jobs. I think Farzeen Ashik is the right person to get in touch with. Everyone, go and connect with her and her company. I'm sure you will get all the solutions for your life, for your problems, and for your future jobs. So don't waste your time. Just go and connect with her.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, so much, so much, Miss Farzeen Ashik, to be part of MacBlock's family from this evening onwards. So I think you are one of a gem of a person, which I feel that from today onwards, from my audience and my followers would definitely can connect with me and ask me how we can get connected with Farzeen Ashik. So I will be definitely connecting them to you.
Thank you so much, Masru. Really appreciate the opportunity to connect with your audience and really appreciate this
It was
wonderful
an honor.
opportunity.
Before you leave, a small shout out. I always ask all my superstars and the guests, which I call them on my show. So if you would like to say a few lines for MacVlogs, or maybe you can ask them to subscribe if they like this channel, that would be an amazing and a really honor for me.
Sure. I would like to request all my friends and audience to please subscribe to Mac Vlogs. There are plenty of interesting personalities that you will meet. There's a lot of information. There is a lot of wonderful ideas that you can gain by watching the different shows that Masroor has put together. So make sure you subscribe and like and watch the many shows that he's put together.
Thank you once again. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much for being such a superstar for me this evening to be part of MacVlogs family. It's a really honor for me. God bless you and your family. Keep smiling and keep spreading that love and the affection and your expertise, which everyone requires in our society. Thank you once again. So, everyone
Thank
out there, if you
you.
haven't subscribed MacBlog, so please, Ms. Farzeen being so kind to give a shout out. So, I would just like to mention, please go and press subscribe button if you like this today's video. Thank you so much. Take care and look after yourself and keep smiling. Bye
Thank you.
bye. You're welcome. Bye bye.